So in this video, we're going to handle if there is a no chat found. Inside this search, I'm going to search for John Doe. So right now I do not have any chat with him. But if I go to John Doe, you can see the banner and the messages remain. So this is a bug which we are going to fix. And back to VS Code. So inside our server.js, where we are checking if no error, we are emitting messages loaded. We are going to add an else here. So that means if there is any error, we are going to emit. So we're going to emit no chat found. And we are not going to send some data with it. And on our front end, we are going to listen for it. Inside our messages, inside the use effect for load messages. After this message is loaded, make sure you are inside the load messages function. So socket.current.on no chat found. And inside the second parameter, we have a function. Let's make it an async function. So inside this, we are going to call a function. Let's create that inside the utils. Get user info.js. Inside this, we're going to import Axios from Axios. We're going to need the base URL. Also, we're going to need our cookie package from JS cookie. So inside this, const get user info. Inside this, we are going to receive the user to find ID. Inside try catch, if there is any error, just alert the user. Error looking for user. And inside the try block, we are going to make a request to the backend. We are going to create this route in just a second. Res await axios.get base URL /API/chats. And we're going to add the user and user to find ID. And we are going to pass in the headers. So this is going to be protected route. So let's create this route. Here we have the route API/chats and user. So inside the API chats, get user info router.get. So our route is /user and user to find ID. So colon and user to find ID. Auth middleware and async request and response. So now before we write code inside the try block, we are going to import the user model. And inside this, we're going to look for the user, await user model dot find by ID. It is going to be inside request dot params dot user to find ID. Make sure the spellings are correct. And after this, if no user, return res dot status 404.send no user found. But if user is found, we are going to return res.json. Name, it is going to be user.name. And profile pic URL, it is going to be user.profilepic URL. And save. So now we are returning an object from here. So inside our get user info, return name, it is going to be res.data.name. And profile pic URL, res.data.profilepic URL. So now let's export this function. And now let's import this inside our messages page. And now inside this, when there is no chat found, we are going to call this await get user info. Pass in the user to find ID. It is going to be router.query.message. So we are adding this router.query.message here, not the openchat_id.current, because if the openchat_id.current only changes when it is an event of messages loaded, otherwise it doesn't change. And we are going to return name and profile pic URL from here. So name and profile pic URL. And what we are going to do is set banner data, name and profile pic URL. So the ES6 syntax here. And we're going to set the messages to empty array and save. And also what we are going to do is, if you go to the return statement where we are checking if messages.length is greater than 0, we are going to move this out from here, this div for the banner. And now if I go back and refresh, and now if I search for John Doe, and now you can see the messages are erased and John Doe and his profile picture is being shown here. Also, after the set messages, we are going to set the open chat ID dot current is equals to router dot query dot message. So now open chat ID dot current is equals to the query string inside the URL. Also here we're going to check if socket dot current and if there is a query string inside the URL. So if router dot query dot message. So when both of these conditions are true, only then load messages function is going to be called. So now in the next video, we're going to start writing code for receiving a message. So I will see you there.